let's say you're a NFL fan, right? Let's say you're an NFL fan and you're hearing about this new exciting league that's going to come into play. And it's not an XFL thing, it's not an AAFL thing. It's like a legitimate league of like NFL talent. But let's say the only teams in that league are the Cowboys, the Giants, the Rams, the Patriots, the 49ers, the Bears, even the Jets, and maybe even the Washington football team. Because we're just going off of most value, popularity, so on and so forth, right? Or if you're into baseball, let's say there's a new league, and that league is essentially the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Red Sox, the Cubs, the Giants, the most valuable of teams. You could throw the Mets in there if you want. Or if you're an NBA person, there's a new basketball league. It's not the Big Three. It's not a G League. It's a new basketball league. But that league is made up of the Knicks, the Warriors, Lakers, Bulls, Celtics, Old English font, the Nets, the most valuable of teams, the most popular, profitable teams. How would you feel about that league? Would you be hyped? Would you be excited? Would you view it as a cash grab? Because that's exactly what happened in soccer this week for like a day and a half. Oh, soccer. And for those of you who don't know me that well, this might be your first time even knowing that I'm aware of soccer. And yes, I am a soccer fan. Do I have an allegiance to a team? No. I've played soccer in high school, intramurals. But I was nice in intramurals. And I got a trophy for being nice in soccer in intramurals. But my main connection to watching soccer was obviously growing up in Southside, going around to different parks, seeing, Caribbean kids and Caribbean young athletes, I guess, playing the game in various parks while we were playing basketball. We would be hooping at one park or one part of the park. And then when we were done, we were walking through, we would see them, going in, playing soccer on their part of the park. So sometimes there will be some overlap, things like that. But soccer's always been dope to me because I just love sports. As I've kind of have tried to insinuate with this new transition to the podcast, like I pretty much have knowledge of all sports. Sometimes it's a little weird. Sometimes I know stuff I should not know. I should not know certain rules about lacrosse, but this is how my brain works, right? So soccer is a thing. FIFA, the video game, only expanded that, right, to like a higher level. So soccer is a thing. I do not root for a team. I'm like the Issa. I'm like the Issa GIF. I'm here to root for everybody black. That's kind of, if you nice and you black, I'm probably going to follow you. If you're nice with the ball handling skills, if you're nice with the dribbling, my only football kit that I have is that's a soccer jersey. If I don't, so I may get into my bag a little bit. My only football kit that I have that I ever bought is a Ronaldinho jersey, Brazil. And, I rock that shit a lot. Guys, you know what? Football kits in Vegas, you can really, you will make a lot of friends. You will make a lot of friends. And depending on the kit, sometimes you'll make some enemies too. But Brazil is widely accepted on many levels. So, that Ronaldinho jersey did me a lot of, those are stories for another version of the pod. But yes, so imagine if NFL, MLB, or NBA dared to just take the most profitable teams or the most popular teams and decided to say, fuck everybody else. We know we're the cream of the crop. We're going to move and do our own thing. We're tired of revenue sharing with the dregs of our leagues. We're tired of, having to share the bread. We make the lion's share of the money. We're the reason the TV rates are what they are, the broadcasting fees and things of that nature, the revenue sales in terms of kit sales and things like that. We are the reason. We don't want to share with these lesser teams, these smaller teams that get to eat off the backs of our popularity. Imagine if the NBA, MLB, or NFL, if those owners decided to band together and go do that. That's essentially what happened. You had Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City, Man United, Tottenham, Inter, Juventus, Milan, Atletico Madrid, Barca, Real Madrid. Those teams that are primarily the most popular in their region. This is Spain, Italy, and England. Those are the 3 top leagues. They were trying to get over to the German leagues. They were trying to get Munich and Dortmund, but they ain't fuck with it. They ain't fuck with it because they were waiting for the feedback from the fans. And because of the feedback from the fans, everybody's running away from this now. Because this thing was supposed to be, basically they were usurping UEFA. They were getting out of the control of FIFA. They wanted to break free, have their own league. They control everything. There's no relegation, which I feel is the best thing ever created in all the sports. If you remember during the pandemic, I had those pandemic podcast episodes, and I wanted to create the perfect league. You know, take the no salary cap of MLB and merge it with the rules of this and whatever. But I said in terms of standings and playoffs and ensuring that teams go hard, I wanted relegation for my perfect league. But these teams, they are done, they are tired, they are frustrated with dealing with relegation because it is a constant pressure. If you're Man U and you have a down year and you miss Champions League and you're stuck doing the fucking Europa League or the FA Cup or some bullshit like that, like you're not getting the bread that you're expected to. You're expected to be Champions League every year. You're expected to be in all the top competitions every single year. They're tired of that because they're Man U and they have money they need to make and they want to maximize all the money that they can. So let's go create this new league where we can reap all the benefits, get all the money, and we never have to worry about relegation again. We never have to worry about a Leicester City coming up out of nowhere with what, like 300 to 1 odds to win the Premier League a couple of years ago. Like, we don't have to worry about no upstarts coming up and knocking us off our post as top dog. And we could just keep making this money. The whole thing was a savage money play, much like we have the money play here where we have sports ongoing throughout this pandemic with no real end in sight. Some teams are vaccinated, some teams are not. Jason Tatum's out here taking an inhaler before games. Myles Garrett was a shell of his former self. Cam Newton looked washed. Baseball players were out partying, getting caught with the Rona. One player, Juan Soto, didn't play the whole year because of being exposed to COVID. No one's talking about it. So the same savage money play that's happening here in the States was attempted overseas. And you know what the hell happened? The fans said, fuck you. And you know also what happened? The teams listened. Can you imagine if that happened here? Could U.S. fans band together like how soccer fans did? Could football fans band together? Football teams have moved. The Ravens snuck out in the middle of the night to go to Baltimore. The Colts snuck out to get out of Baltimore to go to Indianapolis. The Rams dipped on St. Louis. The Raiders have dipped on Oakland 2-3 times in my existence. They dipped on LA. Could U.S. fans band together and have the same type of impact that English, Italian, and Spanish fans had across the pond? This is a huge story. Like, this isn't LeVar Ball trying to start his own league Like I said, this isn't the XFL or the AAFL. Like, this was top-notch established teams all deciding, yo, we out. We got billions on the table. Like, they literally had billions on the table that they were going to get guaranteed if they were able to successfully start this Europe Super League. Because again, the TV rights that they have across the pond are not the same here. You would think, because soccer, by geography, by just density and population, is the world's most popular game. So you would think that their TV contracts would like usurp the NFL's. It doesn't. It doesn't usurp the NBA's. It doesn't usurp MLB's. I don't even know if it's better deal than what the NHL has. So they're trying to get into the game. They're trying to get into the streaming game. They're trying to get into the TV broadcast rights game. They're trying to get those billions. Like the NFL's out here getting 100 billion, and allegedly the NBA's on the verge of maybe getting 75 billion. They're trying to get into that game. So how do they do that? Well, wouldn't you know it? They have 3 American owners or co-chairs that are now in the mix in terms of owning soccer teams. You have the Glazers, who were running Man U. John Henry, the dude who has the Red Sox, he's the owner of Liverpool. And then you have the Cronkies, who are running Arsenal. So you know, they know what's going on here in the States in terms of NFL and MLB. They're trying to keep that same energy now and trying to flip soccer, much like how things are here. But the fans in Europe said, go fuck yourself. I'm not sure we could pull that off here. 12 of the biggest teams in the world said we out. All the fans primarily said, no the fuck you not. You're not going to ruin our game. Now look, the Premier League itself, that's the most valued league in terms of England, excuse me. That league is relatively new in comparison to the totality of how long soccer's been played. So the Premier League itself was founded in a very similar way, but it's been existing for so long that it's kind of just been grandfathered in, like, all right, this is just what it is. So they were trying to do the same thing again, essentially, with this Super League with these 12 teams. And they were including Spain and Italy in it. And they were trying to lure Germany in the mix as well. And I believe they were trying to get PSG over in Paris as well. So this was going to be humongous if they could have got this off. But because of what the fans did, because of what the overwhelming backlash against it, out of the original 12 teams, as I'm recording this, over half have already pulled out. Like, this was literally announced. I heard about this like Sunday. I'm not sure when the first official press release came out about this formation of the Super League, but it couldn't have been no earlier than last week, Friday. So I heard about this like Saturday into Sunday. So Monday, it became a thing. Because now you had all the sports shows that could talk about it. And it wasn't really covered a lot here in the States. It was more so overseas. So it started making waves overseas, started to become a thing overseas. Then it trickled over to the few soccer fans that are locked in over here. And within a day, those teams pulled out. Arsenal's already out. Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City, Man U, Tottenham, Inter Milan, out. Atletico Madrid, out. As of right now, Juventus, Milan, Barca, and Real are still in it. But for how much longer can they pull this off? They can't do it with 4 teams. Maybe they're trying to grab some other teams, but the initial 12 were the ones. So whoever they bring in now, it's not going to hit the same. The popularity, the fan bases aren't going to be the same. The TV ratings, I mean, you can't really sell a league to a national broad audience, in my opinion, that just has Barca, Real, Milan, and Juventus. That can't be your big 4. That's not enough. Not for an American audience. Nope, that's not enough. But again, my main question, could we pull this off here? Could the MLB, NFL, or NBA pull this off and succeed? Would fan backlash even matter? because you know who started this. It was three Americans who kind of pushed this forward overseas, and they learned a lesson. But could Jerry Jones have those types of balls? We know he got balls, and we know he's savvy. Can he get that off? Instead of trying to have these lesser leagues that all crash and burn, just say, yo, Roger Goodell, it was nice. It was cool. We don't want to deal with this. Like the whole narrative. Craft the same narrative. They don't want to deal with the kneeling nonsense. They don't have to deal with the players coalition and having to give all this money to underserved community. We don't want to deal with all that. We just want to go and just keep cashing out. So you know what? We're going to form our own league. In a league with the Cowboys, the Patriots, the Giants, the Rams, the Niners, the Jets, the Bears, the Washington football team. You could throw in the Eagles. Like, those are the most valuable teams in terms of bread, in terms of billions. If they all decided to leave, what's the NFL going to do? Seriously, what can the NFL do? How could they survive? This is a dangerous precedent. That's why I was, in the group chats, I was trying to let people know, like, what's going on. But the homies, they're not really, you know what I'm saying? They're not really on that type of time when it comes to soccer. But I'm like, yo, this ain't even really, yes, it's soccer, obviously. But this is setting a precedent that could happen anywhere. Dangerous game, bruh. Dangerous games.